Hi, it's so good to have you here. Today I want to talk about winter interest. So the winters here in Canada can be pretty long and cold, and I found one way to get me through it is by planting things that I like in the garden. And I'm just going to walk you through some things that I like in particular and that are looking good right now. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is this dappled willow, and see the twigs here? They're really bright red, especially if you have a cedar in behind. It really glows, especially when the sun shines on it. I'm really enjoying these. I also cut these and put them into winter flower arrangements, and yeah, I really like these. They grow like crazy, and in order to have these nice red stems, you do have to prune them. Come late winter, I am gonna cut these, which I can do anyway because I can use them for my arrangements. Behind me is this beautiful oak tree, and for each one of our kids that were born, we planted a tree, and this was our firstborn. And this oak holds onto its leaves, which drives some people nuts because then they have to clean up leaves twice, once in the fall and then once again in the spring. But I absolutely love it because I enjoy the sound of the leaves blowing in the wind. And I also enjoy seeing this nice canopy of leaves. Evergreens are another great thing for the landscape. We have several ones. We have a hoopside blue spruce, which is behind me. And then we have this one, which my husband calls the spooky tree. It's what's it called? Nootka cypress or something like that. And or you can also have an Alaskan cedar. Those are weeping too. They add such a beautiful texture in the garden. We also have lots of cedars in the garden and junipers, so they're also great to have. When the snow falls and everything's white, it's so nice to look out the window and see something green. I've painted a room in the house green just so I could have some green in the winter. And I also planted lots of these evergreens because it's so nice to have something green in the winter. This is a crabapple tree, and my husband says he planted it a long time ago when we moved here. It was like 14 years ago, and look at it now. It's huge. He planted it by seed. So what he did is he grabbed one of these from the boulevard and just stuck it in between a crack that we have right here, and then this thing grew, and I'm so thankful he did plant that. We have a second one that was planted by a squirrel, which is nice too. There's the bunny. He's here. Anyway, these are great because they attract wildlife like crazy. One time, it was like early spring, I counted 19 robins in this tree, and it's a small tree. So that was great. And also it's persistent. So when you ever buy one of these at the nursery, you want it to say persistent because it hangs onto its fruit. You don't want them falling off. So this hangs onto its fruit until the new growth pushes it out, which is great because I get to enjoy them all winter long. Now, some people like to clean up their garden in the fall. I like to do it early spring, late winter, because I get to enjoy the seed heads of many flowers. Hostas and peonies are the ones that you do want to cut back because they can harbor diseases and stuff. You don't want those in the garden over the winter. But these things, purple cone flowers, echinacea, like those things are great, and I enjoy them, especially when there's a little coating of snow on top. It looks so pretty. There are also things that bloom in the winter. It's crazy, but it's true. Like this witch hazel here. I've got another one in the front. The one in the front is an Arnold's Promise. It's yellow. This one is a red one. It's red, and it is so beautiful. Grasses is always a good thing to plant, especially when the sun shines through them. They're so pretty. And of course, don't forget the rose hips. They're pretty in the winter too. I leave the blooms on just for the sake that they can form these rose hips, that I can enjoy them in the winter. Now, winter interest is not just limited to plants. This rose arbor looks beautiful in the winter too. So you can use structures and other things like that for winter interest. You can use things like this pillar, a beautiful stone wall, a stump, a bird bath, a bench, whatever you can think of that has some kind of interest that peeks out of the snow. All right, well, thank you so much for touring this garden with me, looking at some things that are beautiful in the winter. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the winter. Hit the bell, more videos are gonna come out soon. And remember, you are wonderfully made. Bye.